If you're not paying attention to the data center market right now, you're missing one of the fastest growing opportunities that we've seen tied directly to the AI infrastructure. APLD stock is one we've been covering for a bit, and they've nearly 10x'd over the last year. And here's what most people and investors seem to be missing: AI is completely getting started right now. And what's really driving this isn't just hype, it's a lot of the markets being driven by the underlying technology, which is data centers. So if your goal is to not only invest in the backbone of AI, data centers are going to be one to focus on, but also to use AI to analyze stocks with more insight, more data, with less guessing. We just did a full training on how to use AI for investing in the second link in the description. You can get real analysis there and go have a look to get the full breakdown. So when it comes down to how we're approaching the market with the data center market, there's a lot of different companies that have recently seen a lot of growth over the last year. Once again, we started covering this APLD stock around $5, $6 a share, and they continued to rally from $3 a share up until $42 a share. And they recently had this very consistent uptrend and pulled down to the 200-day moving average, which is this green line here, before continuing up into this uptrend over the last few weeks. Now, there's a few things that have really driven growth over the last week. The first is that we've had a lot more growth in the tech market. Almost every company that actually buys data centers has seen increases in revenue and expects to spend more, obviously, as you know, on AI. And so as a result, who is going to benefit from that? It's most likely going to be the companies that are providing the most value and the individuals that have specialized skills to help these companies deliver on their goal. So if you have an announcement, let's say from CoreWeave, who was up 7%, that they plan to increase their hyperscaler capability and add more GPUs and more data centers to support companies like Microsoft or Google or what have you. Or you have Apple come out with earnings even saying they're investing in their own technologies for AI. Or you have Google and Microsoft and Tesla building the largest supercomputers in the world. A lot of that infrastructure comes down to building these large centers that house a tremendous amount of computational power to make the AI advance. So I personally use this technology. So the market grows not just based on all of the billions of dollars and trillions of dollars in market cap that's expected to grow as a result of AI, Nvidia, AMD being some of the top companies in this market, but also because of the real world value, the real world usage. And the real world usage is impacting corporations, a lot of corporations and a lot of small businesses, even our own business here at Prophecy. We have something set up where we allow you to choose the best models in the world, and you can click in and get analysis on any company. So we can actually pull up APLD and we can get Claude or Grok or any company analyzed with AI. So normally I might have to do a bunch of work, and this is the story. Imagine you're writing a report for your job, and you have to put together some reports on not just your employees, maybe even some customers and their focuses, as well as what's going well, what's going bad, if there's any incidents. And imagine you're writing that out, okay? Now, normally, not only do you need to write it out and have all the things included, but you also have to write it with structure. You have to write it well. You have to make sure you don't miss the details, and you have to make sure that you might be focused on writing and you'll forget something because you were just so focused on writing that you just want to get it all out. You just want to be able to finish the report fast. AI, for example, you could tell it all the details, the sloppy way that you deliver it, and you can just tell it everything that you need, everything that happened, and then it will create that report for you, right? That's an example of saving an average person that works in the, let's say, reporting, or anybody that has a job probably does that. I mean, I've done that many times. Saving them hours a day, right there. Hours a day, that right there could be, let's say, an average of, $50 or $100 an hour for whatever the compensation is, let's just say. That right there, let's call it $75 times 2 hours a day is $150 saved each day times a 5-day work week. Right there is a clear example of $750 that a company saved by implementing AI into their systems. And not only that, investors are using it. I'm using it right here. AI is allowing us to save all this time. Now, I'm getting full breakdowns of SEC filings. It's looking at the technical analysis. It's looking at the news and doing all of that hours of work I would have to normally do. It's doing it in just a few moments and giving me these projections from all the top models based on that analysis. Now, I don't need to be a whiz to know that these are facts on the company about their partnerships and that they recently signed more deals and they now have $23 billion in leases. I don't need to be a scientist to know this. I don't need to be a scientist or some extreme analyst to see that they have an overall uptrend, that they are trending upwards. Or I don't need to be a scientist to go look at the financials and see that this company, along with most data center companies, but particularly APLD right now, has been growing their balance sheet year over year about over 100%. And they've gone from just $1.7 billion in assets to over $6 billion in assets with $3 billion in equity. And their income statement has grown just as fast. You can see that the revenue ramping up to over $100 million per quarter, and their market cap is still sitting just around 10 to 11 billion. So 6 billion in assets, their revenue increasing and what have you, these things. It doesn't take a scientist to know that. I can look at that. But the thing is, AI saves so much time. And so while it saves so much time, it also requires a lot of computation. And that's where you need data centers to be able to do that through the cloud, at least, unless you have a computer that can do it that's really fast. And so now, as companies aren't just going to build these huge computers inside of their office, they're going to use the cloud. And so when it comes to Applied Digital, their approach is that they build these data centers in very sustainable ways. And how they focus is they not only build in cold places like North Dakota, but they also make sure they use liquid cooling solutions and that they have good connections with the local communities. While some companies might make a lot of money in the data center market, a big factor, at least in my eyes, is are these companies actually maintaining integrity with the local communities? Because if you don't have the ability to press on and build new projects because you're creating this super loud thing that is increasing the bills for electricity for local community, that's not going to be sustainable. But this company even announced in their recent earnings they got good community ties. There's some other articles I've seen related to that. And not only that, they also have actually reduced the bills for local community members, and their electricity bill has gone down rather than up as a result of building the data center. So they're pretty focused on that. And one of the things that we noticed, as they did have a lot of investment from NVIDIA, which NVIDIA recently pulled out. But APLD stock also recently announced a new lease. One of the things that we heard in their recent earnings call, which was a good earnings call, is that investors were concerned. They said, okay, APLD had a few contracts over the last year. They got about $15 billion in deals with companies like CoreWeave in order to build these data centers. But investors were saying, hey, we need to see more. We need to see more deals. And essentially, what they said on the earnings call, which I thought was really good. And it's like, hey, stock might pull back. It might not be too hot in the next day or the next week or even the next quarter. But one thing they said that really stuck out to me, as I'm a long-term holder in the company, I also hold a lot of these data center companies, but I'll just tell you what they said is they're not really worried about getting a lease right now and getting a new deal. They're focused on delivering as much value to their current customers, and they're focused on delivering as much value in a way that when they get a new lease, they have no doubts that they're going to have that lease kept, that the new AI company that wants to tap into that computing power through the cloud or what have you, or own some of the infrastructure, is going to be one that is a good customer, and that when they have them, they'll keep them. And that's really tied in with good philosophy. Now, of course, investors, it was a volatile earnings. They sold off a little bit. They were like, hey, okay, so they're not that focused on new deals. We need new deals, right? Even so, they had 15 billion, which was exceeding their market cap at the time of around 9 billion, which is always a good sign if you see their pipeline is much greater than that of their current total market cap. But then, just about 2 weeks later, or a week and a half later, 2 weeks later now, they just announced in this last week that they now expanded with a new lease for a 430 megawatt. That's a huge, AI factory, where they secured approximately $7.5 billion in contracted value over an estimated 15-year lease, and it covers, again, 300 megawatts. So they actually got a new lease, and you can see that their total contracted lease revenue now sits at over $23 billion and further diversifies the company's customer base with a third hyperscale tenant. So while they do work with CoreWeave, and that's going to be a factor, when I'm looking at this and I'm reading 23 billion, you have to understand that this company just recently, in the last year or so, shifted from Bitcoin mining and all that stuff to actually converting their infrastructure to support AI. Converting their infrastructure to, rather than mining Bitcoin, they're saying let's support the AI infrastructure for those companies. Now, CoreWeave, this is a company, top NVIDIA company. They work with some top companies, including Mistral AI, that's a new one, Cloudflare, which runs basically all of the security and infrastructure for companies like Google and YouTube and what have you. And they are providing the AI service to OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and IBM. So these are like very large companies that require more computational power. And NVIDIA goes ahead and they just expanded a $21 billion deal with Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, what have you, for AI, which, by the way, last week inside of Prophecy, we added the Meta model for you to get your analysis on any stock. You can see projections from the next hour, 6 months. Anyway, it works great. So far, the accuracy has been better than any other model we've introduced. I don't know if it's because Meta has good gauge on the human behavior or what it is. I think it's probably related to that. But again, if you want to get your hands on the AI tool, get analysis automated for you to run the same analysis I run on a consistent basis for you on autopilot using Prophecy, you can use it on desktop, you can use it on mobile. It's going to be the second link in the description below. Go have a look. So when it comes to this deal here with CoreWeave, it's like CoreWeave's now selling data, they're selling a cloud computation, and they're going out and they're selling to Meta, and they're selling to OpenAI for ChatGPT and to NVIDIA, and they're the world's #1 AI cloud platform. So they rent out. If I need to go do AI model training, I would go to CoreWeave, and I would pay money for me to build my AI. We have our own infrastructure, so we don't need that for Prophecy AI. In fact, we have a really amazing setup. We have a great team with Ryan, who, by the way, if you ever work with him, he will solve any issues you're having in like 2 seconds. We love to make sure we're catering to you with the best service. But when it comes down to this factor, it's like, okay, how is CoreWeave going to go ahead and sign these $21 billion deals with Meta? How is that possible? Do they just spin up data centers in their backyard? Like, how are they getting all the computational power to run this cloud deal with Meta, 21 billion, or OpenAI or what have you? How do they do it? Well, Applied Digital's main partner and one of their top contracted AI campuses, the data centers, is with CoreWeave. I believe it makes up somewhere around $11 billion in contracted revenue with Applied Digital. And so Applied Digital has no shortage of demand, and they're constructing the data centers. And so I think that as their market cap sits around 10, 12 billion right now, with the 23 billion in contracted revenue and continuing in their current uptrend, we're going to be watching. This is the technicals. So how we do technical analysis, once again, we're going to look at fundamentals. I don't trade companies unless I already invest them invest in them long term or have a very good understanding from following them for many years. For example, oil, like I don't always just hold long term, but we traded them and we have been trading them. We're trading them right now, actually, over for the Hormuz Strait and how we're trading the Iran war. But for the most part, I don't trade anything short term that we're not already holding long term because, first of all, trades go wrong. You lose money. You may see a position go down if you don't have good risk management. Happens quite often. People don't learn about stops or how to manage smaller risk to that of their profit and go for bigger profit opportunities in the risk. And sometimes they turn into what you call a bag hold. But I don't bag hold because I trade stocks that I would already want to hold long term. So even if something went wrong, like let's say this week, opportunity presents itself. We're looking for this trade here to bounce on this continued uptrend. There's a rising support and rising resistance here on APLD over the last month. You could see that. And it makes higher highs. Previous resistance levels are acting as a support. You can see that here. Previous resistance on April 8th, acting as a support. Oftentimes it will. Previous resistance, support. And right now we're at a previous resistance acting as a support. Sold down to this rising support level in the trend with some targets for APLD continuing back up, bouncing here potentially up into $40 a share. Now, hedge funds or institutions have much larger targets actually. There's some targets on APLD that are high as $85 a share. And if you go into Prophecy AI, which again, you're seeing just APLD, but I would encourage you to use it for other AIs as well. Of course, some of the analysis just based on the consensus from the AIs is 140% gain over the next year, according to Grok. That's a huge increase, right? 140%. One of the most bullish increases I've seen from a projection from an AI. And you can see some of the reasoning why in the analysis here, and we can see all that. But most importantly, just from a technical perspective, let's say the opportunity presents itself tomorrow morning and we buy, and you have a support level. Nearest support seems to, for the next week, be at that $33 price point, according to the AI here, in Prophecy. And that's based on my analysis. That's not from Grok or anything. That if that $33 level, so where is that? That's right here. So $33, this previous resistance right here, $33, acts as a support. So this level here, you're looking at about a 20% potential increase if they continue this smaller trend that is part of a greater uptrend, right? There's that bigger uptrend that they've been in the last year. But there's a smaller trend here that they're looking to continue up into that $40 range. So let's say that continues. That's great. It's 20% here potentially with risk fairly low as it's near a support level. So we may not hold, but we may look for a short-term trade. Personally, I may look for that. When it comes to our market open sessions, we'll be there. But then if things don't go according, like let's say you get that breakdown, it's very low risk here. And I would personally be looking to have pretty tight risk management. But when the market opens is when we'll know. And the market opens tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. We'll be watching it very closely at market open. And if you want to tune in and see, why we look at market open is because that's when market direction becomes pretty clear after some of those moves. How we trade live every morning is in those live sessions, and you can get there. All you have to do is just have a look at the link in the description. It's called Stockmates, and I would love to see you there as soon as tomorrow morning at market open, as we're there every day, Monday through Friday, right at market open. So 6:30 a.m., pretty early here on the Pacific coast, so you might have to get up early, or 9:30 Eastern. We're there every day, Monday through Friday, and we'll see you there if you'd like to tune on in. Again, watch my entries and my exits and surround yourself with the community there in the second link in the description down below. I appreciate you all. Let me know what you think about APLD. Again, we're going to be watching these levels long term. I continue to hold, and then whatever your thoughts are on it, and hopefully these facts have been helpful for you. Take them as facts and facts only, as they're not meant to influence your buying decisions. And I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend. If I earned your thumbs up, just hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.